Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. And before we start, I'm sorry I haven't been posting the past few days. I had things going on, I had things going on and I couldn't post or record. So yeah, I'm sorry about that, but I do plan on getting, after this video, 3 more videos out. Yeah. After this video, I plan on doing 3 more videos today. Well, hopefully 3 more videos. But without further ado, let's jump in. And this is what a Deku had a music quirk part 2. And if I'm not correct, we left off, well, more or less I left off right before they went to take Aizawa's Quirk Assessment test. And Deku gets thrown the ball. And what he kind of does, he throws it and then blasts it with sound. Like, immensely. Like, this thing, and since sound, like air produces sound when it's moved, every time he blasted sound, the air vibrated, causing very slight sound, but sound still sound. So he would just kind of bounce it off the air, off the airwave, off the air, using the air sound. So yeah, he got infinite. Finally, we got a Deku who got infinite in this thing. So yeah, basically he got first place in everything. That was close. I almost fell. He got first place in everything. Everything. So next, like the day, like later that afternoon. It's still the day. Yeah. Later that afternoon, Deku hit up. He getting ready for his show he gotta put on, because he does have a gig tonight. For some reason, just randomly. But yeah, he gets up there. He starts spinning the decks, and in the crowd, who do you see? Yeah, he just starts spinning the decks. The crowd goes wild. And let's say some members of 1A was there. For some reason, I don't know why, but let's just say, for plot reasons, some students from 1A were there. And then they're like, why does he look familiar? And he's looking at Deku, and they're like, why does he look so familiar? But yeah, that's an end of this plot. If you do have a ship, just put it in the comments. If you do, because I'm not I'm not hell-bent on a ship yet. So got a ship, just put it in the comments. But yeah, next day, All Might comes zooming up, runs in, comes flying through the door. I am here, and everyone starts freaking out, and Deku kind of has to cover his ears, because he's sensitive to sound, like very high frequency noises can really hurt his ears. like very high frequency noises, like the music that he produces. Yeah, it might be loud, but it's gotta be real to actually hurt his ears. And he's like, wow, they are loud if it's hurting me. But yeah, All Might explains everything. But yeah, All Might explains everything. And for Deku's hero costume, it's basically this in the picture. Like, he looks exactly how the picture looks. Like headphones, leather jacket, red shirt. Basically everything that he's wearing in the picture here. And then teams are gonna be Deku and Jiro versus Ida and Bakugo, let's say. So they walk in the building, and they get up to the second story, and Bakugo explodes towards Deku and tries to explode him. It doesn't work. Deku just pushes him back with sound before you could do anything. Ugh, what's with me? Every time I record, I start yawning, and it's not even late yet. Like, it's just like, it's weird, man. But, yeah. Deku stops him mid-air with, like, sound manipulation. Like, the noise caused from Bakugo's explosion, he straight up amplifies that and kind of releases it, causing, like, a sound wave to like, throw Bakugo off guard. And then what Deku does, he kind of vibrates his hand. Using sound, he vibrates his hand to a very high frequency and punches Bakugo. And Bakugo is sent flying into a wall. Then he gets back up and jets it, like, explodes at Deku. Like, lunges at Deku, trying to explode him again. Doesn't work. He kind of just dodges, hits him with the uppercut, and then hits him with the ultrasonic sound blast, making sure he's knocked out. Then, like, let's, and then, I don't know what that was, but, yeah, and then he hears Ida talking, and he's like, bingo, because Deku can, like, locate people if he finds their frequency. Like, he finds their frequency, he knows their exact location. So he kind of walks up to that floor, and he touches the wall, and he starts blasting sound into the walls of the room, and the room starts to vibrate with sound. Then Deku kicks down the door, and Ida reciprocal burst runs at him, tries to kick him, but Deku just touches the ground, and in the entire room, like, a sound blast comes out of the ground, like, the entire floor. Some sound blast comes out, launching Ida into the air, and Deku charges up his arm for another high frequency punch. He lunges at Ida, hitting him dead in the face, knocking him out with that high frequency punch, throwing him to one of the pillars. He walks up to the bomb, he touches it, boom, he done. And USJ. Yeah, USJ. Yeah, USJ. So, they on the bus. People talking. Deku kind of just listening to music. Like, he in his own, like, world. He kind of zoomed out for a second. And he has his eyes closed, and he can see the music. Like, he can see, like, yeah, he can see the music while he's listening to it. And they get to the USJ. And, he can already hear, like, he can hear the frequency that portal's about to open. And then the portal opens. He's like, I called it. He launches himself, blasting sound behind him to propel himself forward. And he hits the ground, like, does a superhero landing. When he hits it, sound waves ripple through the ground, like, throwing all the villains around him off their game, like, kind of, yeah, basically. And then what does he do? He launches he charges up and, like, launches a wave of sound, like, in every direction, and this, like, knocks out almost, like, most of the villains around him. Then the Nomu comes out, and Shigaraki's like, kill that kid, and the Nomu rushes at Deku. And Deku, this thing swings at him, and he's kind of caught off guard. He gets socked in the face. I forgot to mention. I think entirely forgot to mention. Deku got one for all from All Might. Like All Might saw him and he's like, nah. I'm gonna set up a thing. Deku's like, should I use it? Thinking in his head, should I use it? And then he cuts to him and All Might like the day before, where All Might kind of called him into his office, and basically explains one for all for one, and all the other stuff. Deku accepts one for all. For finally, am I right, guys? And he gets back. He's like, it's now or never. And then like he starts like his entire body starts to vibrate, like with sound, because that's his like aura focal. And he throws a punch, and when he throws this punch, it kind of shoots a shockwave out of it, like a shockwave of sound, like launching at the Nomu, and the Nomu's like actually like stumbled off guard by this. And Deku's Deku closes nah, and he reaches out his hands to launch a sound blast, and what happens? A different color sound? He's like very confused, because it's usually like white sound. That's what it looks like. The energy, like the sound waves that he usually blasts, are just like white, like straight up, just like white sound blasts. Like it's not like bright white. It's just like looks like rippling air. Like yeah, it's weird, but this time it's like reddish. It's like a deep red sound wave. And the Nomu's like actually like feeling this. He's like the Nomu starts like screeching, that's the word. Screeching in pain. Like very, because this, like, the different from this sound, it doesn't, like this sound blast, it doesn't affect the outside of the body, it affects the inside. So basically what this sound is doing, it's running wild. It's like going everywhere. Like it's running wild, and it's like Deku has like different like limbs and stuff. It's very weird, and it's running wild, and he tries to control it. But then he like, what if I pull it back? And he pulls it back, and he kind of like he starts like to vibrate in this reddish orange like sound around him. Then he charges at the Nomu, and he starts doing boxing styles with this thing. And he turns up the frequency so loud that Nomu's brain explodes. That's how loud it is. And Shigaraki runs at him, and he's like, nah, mate, we can't be having that. When Shigaraki tries to touch him, he grabs his wrist, puts him behind his back, vibrates his bones so hard that his arms break. And Shigaraki... I have no idea what that is. I'll deal with it in a little bit, but not right now. And then Kurogiri tries to portal him up. Nah, mate. He finds the right frequency of where Kurogiri's like physical form is, and he blasts him with like the with the red sound, and then Kurogiri like returns to its like physical form, and he falls to the ground, like screaming. Yeah, and Kurogiri, like, what? Yeah, Kurogiri, then somehow Shigaraki, and then like everything comes like back into like, everything kind of speeds up with him, like time actually starts to, like, the pain actually starts to feel up with him, and Shigaraki's, screaming because both of his arms are broken, and Kurogiri's like, I gotta get him out of here. So like Deku was distracted for like a second, and Kurogiri gets himself and Shigaraki out of there in that instant. But that's gonna be it for this part, guys. Make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next part. Peace.